And if what you're telling me is that you took money from the plaintiff because you were going to break up with her and instead she gave you money, is that what you're telling me?
Yes.
She gave you money because she's stupid.
Yes. Because I was in love with the guy.
Just a second. She gave you money because she's stupid. I'm going to tell you my view. Women have a need to nest. And sometimes they don't care if the nest is dirty, if it's diseased, if it's short, if it's tall, if it's fat, or it's thin. They don't care. They just want to nest. And sometimes I can actually see it. You know, I can understand. She's a lady. She's managed to put away a couple of bucks. You've been single all your life?
No, I was married before, but I had a prenup, Your Honor. I've done everything on my own.
Got it. Women have a need to nest. And it just sometimes blows my mind with how low they'll go. Okay, so now tell me, when did you make this first loan, which was allegedly for $6,000, to the defendant?
That was on July 19th of last year.
Were you living together at the time?
That's the thing. It was kind of like off and on. He was kind of living with me. I was going
in July of 2023.
Yes.
Was he living with you is the question.
Yes.
When you made this loan
yes.
of $6,000. Can you tell me the circumstances surrounding making the loan of $6,000?
I made him the loan is because he was in a financial hardship and I wanted to help him out. I've known him for a very long time, as a matter of fact, more than 30 years. And we had a friendship too as well. And I had given him the loan because he was trying to get back on his feet. He was going for his insurance license and he was waiting to obtain that. And so that's why I gave him the loan.
Okay. Do you have any proof dating back to July of 2023 that you made him a loan?
Yes, I do, Your Honor.
I'd like to see it.
So what I'll be presenting to you is I have proof of the check that was cashed. Also, if you like, I have bank statements for both times I gave him a loan.
Okay, I see a check for $6,000, July 19th, 2023. You have any communication with him via text or anything else about this $6,000?
I have both loans. We just generally talked that he was going to pay me back.
Just a second. I'm asking you a question. Do you have any text or emails about this check for $6,000?
Not specifically that one check. It was both checks.
When was the second check?
The second check was in December 19th, 2023.
And I assume you have that canceled check for me as well.
As well, yes.
I'd like to see that. Okay, this is for $5,000, and that's in December. So my first question to you is, how was he supposed to repay the July $6,000 loan?
The payment plan was verbally. He said when he was going
No. What was the payment plan? When was he supposed to start to pay you back this $6,000?
There was no specific date.
Okay, so that's the answer. And I assume that between July and December, he made no payments on the $6,000.
No.
So in December, you gave him another $5,000.
Yes.
You want to tell me why?
Because he was making every attempt to start working, and he got his insurance license, and he had an employer as well that he was working for. He was making every effort. So I was thinking...
What every effort was he making? He hadn't given you any money. Just a second. He hadn't given you any money between July and December. So what is the every effort that he made? He didn't give you $100. He didn't give you $50. He gave you nothing. Were you living with him in December?
Yes.
Were you living with him between July and December?
Yes.
So no effort was made by him between July and December to make any payment on the $6,000 loan. And in December, around holiday time, you gave him another $5,000. Now, you want to tell me why you gave him another $5,000 when he hadn't given you a penny on the first money that you gave him?
Because he was making every effort to try to get...
What is every effort?
He was
living
going...
with... Just a second. He's living with you. Mm-hmm. Who's paying the rent? Rent, mortgage?
Me.
He's working for an insurance company.
Yes. And then he was also working Uber. He was trying to get a few couple $100s here and there.
Very nice. That's all very good. And he's living with you and you're paying the bills. and he's made absolutely no payment to you, despite the fact that he's making money. So in December, you gave him another $5,000. Well, what did he need another $5,000 for if he's living with you? I'm not getting it. What did he need another $5,000 for?
He needed some money to pay his debt, is what he told me.
Okay, now I'm going to see what proof you have that he acknowledges that this was a loan, because he says both of these checks that you gave him were gifts.
He told me on several occasions.
I told you, I want to see.
I have the text.
Can I see them, please?
Sure.
When did you receive this text?
That one was March 8th of 2024.
Mr. Shatka, you want to tell me why you took $6,000 from her in July of 2023? Be very careful with what you tell me. Very careful.
Yes.
Because I'm reading things.
When we started dating...
July 2023.
July, okay. Because I had been helping her with her remodel in her home, dealing with all the contractors and...
Just a second.
Opening doors.
Just a second. Where were you living?
At her house.
You were living with her?
Yes.
Where had you been living before her?
In my house in Bakersfield.
And what did you do with that house?
I still have it.
Well, what were you living with her for?
Because we were planning on getting married and...
Who was living in Bakersfield?
I own a home in Bakersfield. My parents moved in with me to my home.
So your parents live in the Bakersfield house?
I live with them.
Now?
I always have.
Where were your parents living before that?
Moved with...
Careful!
They lived
No,
with...
careful! Where were your parents living before you purchased the house in Bakersfield?
They also lived in Bakersfield in their home.
They sold their home?
They sold their home.
And they sold their home.
And I told my mom and dad to move in with me in my home because I live by myself.
They sold their home, and what did they do with the proceeds of the sale of their home? Careful with me, I'm not as dumb as I look. Did they give you money to buy your house?
No, no.
When was the Bakersfield house purchased?
2001.
And so your parents have been living in that house for how long?
Since I purchased it.
So for over 20 years?
Yes.
Okay. Now you move in with the plaintiff. And when you moved in with the plaintiff, were you paying any part of the expenses of the house?
No.
So she was having it remodeled, and you were there directing the contractors.
Correct.
I mean, you weren't hammering nails in or taking down plasterboard.
Actually, I was sometimes.
Well, what else were you doing?
I was helping her with...
What else were you doing for yourself? Were you working?
Myself? No, I was not working.
Well, then you got to do something. So you were hanging around with the contractors.
No,
I want you to tell me why she gave you $6,000 in July.
Because I'd been helping her, and I
don't believe that. I don't believe that. So come up with something different.
When it comes down to it, she gave me that money because she cheated on me with her ex-boyfriend, and I was going to leave, and she begged me to stay with her, and she said, please, I want to help you with your situation. Here's $6,000 to help you pay off your credit card bills, and please don't leave me.
Why did you have credit card bills? Why weren't you working?
My business shut down during COVID, and I was at home for like 2 years trying to figure out what I'm going to do with myself. And I got my insurance license. And as you know, it takes time. You don't just become a big insurance guy. You have to build up your clientele. I have a few clients that I'm working and it's growing. But she gave me the money to help me out because I've been helping her out.
$6,000. Now let's get to the $5,000.
Before
in December,
that, sorry. Here is an email that she sent me requesting the $6,000 the day that after I broke up with her. And then we got back together the following day because she begged me to come back to her. And she says, I'm kidding, I'm rescinding this letter.
Can I see what she's talking about? And can I see?
Oh, yeah, I'll show you that. Your Honor, in regards to that?
Shh, just a second. What? What are you, nuts?
No.
I lent you money in the amount of $6,000 July 19th, 2023, and I'm requesting the money back. This was in October of 2023. Despite my many efforts to contact you without success, I have not received a call back from you to discuss this matter. I'm trying to resolve this amicably. You can make payments by Zelle by November 14th, 2023. Okay, so you say to him you can make the payments by Zelle November of 2023. He doesn't pay you any money. So in December, you lent him another $5,000.
Yes, because we got back together.
And a month later, you gave him another $5,000.
Yes, because he told me he needed the money to help him out.
Yeah. Anything else anybody want to tell me?
Yes.
What?
Here's a text message for her saying that her mom got mad at her because she gave me the money.
Yeah, she says that. My mom's getting mad at me and I want the money back.
Well, because when I wanted to break up with her, she wanted her money back. And then also...
She must be seeing something that I certainly don't see. I'm blinded. Must be blinded by the light. Something that's invisible to me. Every pot has a cover, I suppose. You want me to see something, sir?
Yes.
So far, you're not impressing me. You understand that?
Okay.
You understand that?
Yes.
Yeah, you understand. You're a big boy. You're a grown-up boy, right?
Yes.
Your mother and father live in your house. How
Yeah.
old are you?
I am 46.
46. It's about time you could pay your own bills. It's about time that you could pay your own bills.
Yes, it is.
And if what you're telling me is that you took money from the plaintiff because you were going to break up with her and instead she gave you money, is that what you're telling me?
Yes.
She gave you money because she's stupid.
Yes, because
She
I was
gave
in
you-
love with the guy.
Just a second. She gave you money because she's stupid. I'm going to tell you my view. Women have a need to nest, and sometimes they don't care if the nest is dirty, if it's diseased, if it's short, if it's tall, if it's fat, or it's thin. They don't care. They just want to nest. And sometimes I can actually see it. You know, I can understand. She's a lady. She's managed to put away a couple of bucks. You've been single all your life?
No, I was married before, but I had a prenup, Your Honor. I've done everything on my own.
Got it. Women have a need to nest. And it just sometimes blows my mind with how low they'll go. $6,000, I understand, madam. The other $5,000, I don't. And I'm going to tell you why I don't. Because you could be stupid, but if you loan somebody money and they make absolutely no effort to pay you back, and you're dumb enough to give them another big chunk of money, that would be on you. Now, you want to show me some other documentation that it's going to make me happy about why you don't owe her $6,000?
Yes.
Show me.
Okay, can I just state something?
No, I don't want you to talk to me anymore.
I was helping her with the home.
Okay, just a second. I don't want to.
Okay, here is the text says she gave me the money. Here is.
Oh, just a second. Don't give me a whole stack of papers.
Okay.
You want to show me a text that she gave you the money as a gift.
Yes.
May I see that, please? And that's the proof that she gave you the money as a gift. $6,000. Just be
yes.
careful what you show me. You know,
Yeah.
I'm old, my life is short, the journey's practically over. I don't like to waste my time. My mom thinks I'm stupid and weak, and you think I'm disrespectful, disloyal, and rude. She saw my checks and she knows about the money. I guess you're not going to say anything. I really hate my life right now. And then the next day she says, good morning, call me. What a hero. Oh my God, what a gem. A regular Sir Lancelot. Still doesn't answer my question, madam.
Can I say something too?
Sure, say something to me.
So I've known him for a very long time, and so I had the thing that I wanted to help him out. I understand I should have probably not given him the second check, but I really cared about him, and I thought we were going to have a long-term relationship.
Well, if that's what you're saying to me, you're not getting anything.
No, but as far as
you have to understand something. If that's what you're telling me, that you gave him the checks because you really thought you were going to have a long-term relationship and marry and live as a family, then these were not, just a second, then these were not loans. Not even the first one. If your intention in giving him that first $6,000 check was because you believed that you were going to be together permanently.
No, that's not. But look, he said he was going to pay me back.
Show me.
I
Well,
showed
I
you on the
actually
text.
saw-
I
I
also have a
actu-
witness, my mother. He told my mom as well that he was going to pay me back the money, all $11,000.
On what date did he tell that to your mother?
It was the beginning of March of 2024
Where?
at the house here in Los Angeles.
At your house?
Yes.
And what was he doing there in March of 2024?
He had an interview beforehand, before he came to the house.
What do you mean? He had an interview before and before
He was
came?
trying to get another job, you know, in LA to be close
Be close to what?
to me.
That was in March of 2024.
He was interviewing before that. He had,
But you weren't living together then.
it was off and on, Your Honor.
Anybody want to show me any other proof that this first $6,000 was a loan?
Can I say something? Okay, Tonya is not a dumb businesswoman. She's very good. She's a shrewd businesswoman. She knows how to write a loan document. We have a loan together for
Just a second. I already heard. Listen to
Okay,
me. I already heard that.
Okay.
I said that at the beginning. If you remember, at the very, very beginning of this case, I said that she loaned you $325,000 for some sort of a business venture of yours.
Yes, to help
Yeah,
him.
sure.
To help him because they were going to foreclose on the
And
property.
she's making interest on it. It's not like it was a help. She's making 7% interest.
No, I'm not. It's 6%.
Just a second. Would you stop talking to each other? Anybody have any other evidence with regard to this $6,000?
He just needs to be a man of his word, Your Honor. He
Yeah.
knows it was a loan.
Okay.
Come on, Benny.
Anybody have any other proof? Ms. Graziano, I am satisfied that the first $6,000 you gave him with the idea that he was going to pay you back. That's what it says. The second one in December, I'm not even contemplating. Somebody to make a loan, and there is absolutely no payment, and you're living together, and then there's another check 6 months later for another $5,000. Was that $325,000
That was in
loan?
the middle.
What?
That was in the middle. It was in August of 2023.
In the middle? Mm-hmm. And then after that, you gave him another $5,000?
Yes.
Okay. You're very, very lucky, Miss Graziano. I'm being more than accommodating to this position of yours.
I cared about him, Your Honor.
I don't give a rat's behind whether you cared about him or not. When I read your papers, what you say in your paper was, we made a verbal agreement that he would pay me back once he was financially stable again with a full-time job.
He is working,
Just a
Your Honor.
second. I'm reading you what you said. And where we're going now is in a direction that, unfortunately, you don't want to go in, because there were two conditions, according to your complaint, for this $6,000. He would pay me back once he was financially stable again. Are you financially stable?
No. Can I
Don't say anything.
something? Okay.
Are you financially stable with a full-time job? Do you have a full-time job?
No.
Okay, very good. Your complaint says that you had a verbal agreement that he would pay you back when he's financially stable with a full-time job. You need to prove that.
I don't know, because we lost track of each other, unfortunately.
I
That's
don't
all
know either. And if you don't have proof, you don't have a case. You should have stopped when you were ahead. Case is dismissed. We're done.
I'm happy with that. I'm just glad this is all over, and I hope to never have to deal with that woman again.
Everything pointed to the fact that it was a loan. He said he was going to pay me back, and he should have been a man of his word.
If you have someone calling you and going to your gym, going to your church, going to your work, you'll say anything.
I've known him for a very long time. I was trying to help him out, and I thought he knew that and that he was going to pay me back.
Because every time she cheated on me, I got a check from her.
Yeah, I'm done with him.
You know, when I have a need to nest, I go to Target. And it's a much safer way to fulfill that need than to write checks for $6,000 and $5,000.
You mean you do retail therapy?
Retail therapy, Target, Home Goods, TJ Maxx. There are options, ladies. There are options. When you feel that need come on, especially a holiday season, you know, really fulfills that. You don't have to be writing these checks to these men to fulfill your need to nest. But hey, to each their own.
But the problem is she said it right. She said, I gave him this money because I thought we were going to have a life together. Mm-hmm. And that's not a loan.
Yeah.
If the life together doesn't come together, that doesn't make a gift a loan.
True.
Write it down if it's a loan, irrespective of who it is.
All right. Nah. This case right here, this is one of those situations where I'm like, seriously, what did I just watch? So let's break this down real quick. You have a grown man, 46 years old, living with his girlfriend, not paying bills, not working consistently. And somehow, he's the one receiving money? Come on, man. Now the woman, she's a nurse, stable income, has savings, even invested money. And what does she do? Gives him $6,000. Then another $5,000, and even a $325,000 business loan at one point. Inch, seriously? And this man's defense is basically, she gave it to me as a gift. She cheated, so she paid me to stay. She's stupid. Nah, the moment he said that, I was done. You don't sit in court, take someone's money, and then call them stupid for helping you. That alone tells me everything about his character. But here's where things get complicated. Because the judge, she didn't just attack him, she went at her too. And honestly, I kinda agree. Because look, you gave him $6,000. He paid back nothing, not even $50, not even $100. And then what do? You give him another $5,000? But seriously? At that point, that's not a loan anymore. That's hope, emotion, relationship thinking. And that's exactly what killed her case. Because legally, if you give someone money, no contract, no repayment schedule, no proof, and you say, I thought we were going to be together. That's not a loan. That's a relationship investment. And when the relationship fails, you don't get refunds. That's harsh, but that's real life. Now the judge said something very important. You should have stopped when you were ahead. And that right there, and that's the whole case. Because the first $6,000, you might have had a chance. There was at least some intention of repayment. But the second $5,000, after zero effort? Nah, that looks like you willingly kept supporting him. And the court doesn't protect bad decisions. Now let's talk about him again, because I'm not letting him slide. Bro, you're 46, living off a woman, no stable job, taking money, calling her stupid. That's crazy. Like seriously, man. At some point, be a man. Pay your bills. Stop depending on someone else. Even the judge said it. What a hero. What a gem. That sarcasm? That was brutal. Final opinion? Him? Wrong morally. Took advantage. No respect. Her? Wrong legally. No proof. Emotional decisions. So yeah, leave both sides messed up. But in court, feelings don't win. Evidence wins. And she didn't have it. So the judge dismissed the case.